In this video, I'll be comparing Claude Fable5 connected to Blender with Meshy.ai, and I will see which one of the two generates the best 3D model. As you can see here, I have Fable5, I have the effort set to max, and so I connected Blender to it. If you want me to make a tutorial on how I did it, just let me know in the comments. Before you ask Claude to do any modification inside of an app you connected it to, you always gotta confirm with Claude that it's actually connected. So first, I'm gonna ask Claude to confirm that it's actually connected to Blender. As you can see, Claude is now telling me that it's connected, so I'm gonna go ahead and get a reference image of the sword that I wanted to make. What I put in the search bar is fantasy sword concept art. You always want to get the concept art when you're searching for like a weapon or an armor. I feel like it gives better results. So I found my image. I kind of like this sword. The plan is gonna be to give it to Claude and then see how it performs, and afterwards do the same process with Meshy.ai and see how it does. So I'm gonna paste my image into Claude, then I'm gonna specify that I want the model to be exactly like in the image, and it has to be less than the maximum amount of triangles that Roblox Studio accepts. I'm gonna give it this prompt to see how it does. The thing with Claude is that it sometimes can take a lot of time for it to apply the modifications you want it to make. I guess it depends on the difficulty, but I'm not complaining though, right? Because it's actually making your life so much easier. Back then, to do a 3D model on Blender, you had to watch YouTube tutorials to know like what you're doing. You had to get a reference image, put it into Blender, and then work for like hours to like try to do the best work you can. But nowadays, this new generation has it easy, man. You can just generate 3D models in a couple minutes, in a couple clicks using AI, and that's just crazy. Now, while it's doing the modifications on Blender, I would like to go to Meshy.ai, but I can't, because with this sort of connection with Claude and Blender, you cannot go into other apps at the same time. So like, let's say right now, for example, I want to go into my browser, but if I do that, Claude is just gonna disconnect from Blender and stop the editing. So I'm gonna just stay into Blender, wait for it to do its thing, and I'll come back when it's done. Damn, that shit is kind of good. Oh, damn, I wasn't expecting that. The overall shape looks good, honestly, man. If we take a closer look, we can see that it created 3D geometry for the surface details of the sword instead of just making it a texture. I can't understand why it got confused there, but it just shows how it's not really that accurate. Honestly, the overall shape of the sword is not that terrible. I was expecting worse, but it's still ass, you know? I can't understand what it tried to do. It's like a type of sword that some low poly games would use. It's not completely the same as the reference image I gave. It's in the same vibe, but it has a couple flaws, such as the blade not being too sharp, this random cube at the end of the handle. I guess it tried to mimic the overall shape of it. I don't know why the middle part of the sword has this shape, but you know, at the end of the day, there's a lot of modelers who does low poly assets that could sell this type of quality and still get a good amount of money for it. But since I'm not really satisfied with what I got, I'm gonna ask it to modify some areas of the sword, and I hope it's gonna fix those issues. I'm gonna tell it to remove the cube at the end of the handle, to remove these hexagons, and to change the overall shape of the middle part of the sword. I'll see if it can do all that at once. Okay, it actually ended up doing the modifications I asked for. Damn. So I see that it's good at removing things, right? So it removed the hexagons, it removed this random ass cube that was here, but it didn't make the blade sharper, and it didn't modify the shape of the handle. So before doing this video, I actually tried multiple times doing like modifications and then on another sword. So I gave it like another reference, and I asked it so many times to make modifications, and it just couldn't. That's the thing. It's like you ask it to change the shape of something, and it's like it can't. So that's the real downside to it. It cannot make really complicated stuff. It can just make low poly models, which is still good, right? It's still really impressive. It's low poly, it's simple. You can use it in game. It's not above the limit of triangles. You can export it into FBX since it made it in multiple parts. Now let's see how good Meshy.ai is. So I'm gonna paste the image of the sword, and then I'll click on generate. It's as simple as that. Then all I have to do is just wait, and it's gonna generate the sword for me. Oh, damn, that's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. But there's no texture though. Compared to Fable5, it's pretty quick. It's really similar to the reference image. I'm gonna just add texture. So I'll give it the reference image so it can base itself off of that for the texture. It costs like 10 coins. And before you do that, of course, to generate it costs 20 coins. So in total, I ended up using around 30 coins. And when you use the free version, you get just around 100 coins, which are called credits. And you get like a couple coins each day you log in. So here the generation is done, and as you can see, it's pretty realistic. Honestly, it's really good. First time I ever generated swords using Meshy, I was kind of surprised of how realistic it was and how accurate it was using only one reference image. It's pretty symmetric. As you can see, there's like a side which has like the patterns, which is more detailed honestly than the other one, probably because the image only contained like one side of the sword, and so of course, since it's generated with AI, it has to guess how the other sides looks like. So of course it's not that perfect, but it's still like really good. Honestly, like it actually looks better than what Fable 5 did in Blender. Like the handle is nice, the blade looks nice. It looks not that sharp, it could be sharper as you can see here, but it's still pretty good, right? I'm not really complaining. The only thing that makes it so it's kind of incompatible with Roblox Studio is the triangles. As you can see here, there's like too many faces, too many vertices, which directly means that there's too many triangles, and so this is impossible to put inside of Roblox Studio unless you make the amount of triangles less, but then it's like gonna drop the quality and all that, and I'm not a modeler, so I don't really know how to do that. So that's the only downside of it. Now to download, it's unfortunately not free. You gotta get a fucking subscription to download this shit, man. $22 a month, which is like around $300 per year, so I'm not gonna pay fucking $300 to just download this shit, right? But if you're a modeler and like you're doing commissions, or if you're not even a modeler and like you want to sell assets, I think that's the move, honestly. Like you just gotta invest $300 in this subscription, then generate unlimited amount of assets, so like swords, armors, all that, and the only thing you gotta deal with is just like make the triangles less, and then you can just sell it on the marketplace, right? Compared to Fable 5 connected to Blender, I think Meshy is better quality wise and efficiency wise because it's faster and it's more accurate, but the only downside is that you gotta pay to get this shit, while for Claude connected to Blender, it's free, right? You don't gotta pay. Of course, me, I have Claude Pro. This is pretty much why I'm using Fable 5 on the max effort, but you can still use like Sonnet or like Haiku or Opus, right? So other models to do this shit. So it's not an obligation for you to get Claude Pro in order to generate models into Blender. So now I'm stuck with an AI generated model that I can't even download unless I pay $22 per month. It's kind of unfortunate. So what I'm gonna do honestly is just take the free one, right? Even if this is fucking ass, I'm gonna still take it. Since it's free, I got nothing to lose. So I'm gonna go into export FBX. I'm gonna name it Claude Sword Export FBX. Then when I'm in Studio, I just have to go into assets, bulk import the sword that I made, open, apply all. Then I'm gonna select all the parts, right click, insert with location, boom. That's how you do it. Now there's no texture. I don't fucking know how to add texture, man, but it's not really an issue honestly, because each part are separated with their colors, so I'm okay with it. And boom, here you go, you got yourself a low poly sword. Really good looking, could be better, but I'm not complaining. Now what you can do if you're a real hustler, you make like 10 different weapons like that, take a screenshot of it, put it on the marketplace, sell it for $5, and you got yourself extra income. Alright, so that was it for this video, guys. On the left you have the Meshy sword, and on the right you have the Blender one, which was generated using Claude Fable5. You can see the difference. Tell me in the comments if you have any ideas for any future videos that I could do. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you like this type of content, and that was it for me. Take care, bye.